Okay, no intro or outro of the video, but just follow the hashtags and information where I got any of this channels will be linked description down below, wherever I got the information at. If you know what to play music playing in the background. Anyways, I know this happened about 2.5 days ago. Not the first time I've done this. I've been doing this since very late 2008, way back in my older channel, Political Guy, Undivided Attention, Realization Man 09. And back when I used to be called Criticism Man 09, way back then. Then Nintendo Fruit 2011. So I've been doing RIP Rest in Peace videos many massive amounts of years. I usually have it scattered occasionally. I wouldn't want to do it a billion trillion times because right now I'm not a psychologist, a therapist, a psychiatric physician sort of person. I'm nowhere near that level of intellect at all. I'm not a shrink. So I'm definitely not one to speak about mental health or spiritual health. But this one's going to be a lot more different because half of the people are split mainly here in the United States. I don't think this is really. I don't think to reached a huge fandom or stardom outside of the United States and probably parts of Canada. It was a lot more bigger out here compared to like Europe and Australia and a lot of Asian or European and Indian Arab countries. I don't think nobody knew who this dude O.J Simpson was, but I remember barely have a few blurred memories because literally when this was all happening, I was barely too little. When it was happening in 1994, I didn't remember shit at the time. Wouldn't have been until like 1995, maybe 96, a lot more up to now. I have a way more better memorization of stuff. I'm playing some PS2 music in the background, so I get another. And then this one says it all. I think I might just have to do a completely massive separate video on this one. I can't even say the chick's name at all because oh lordy, you see it up here too on Reddit. I usually don't like to do stuff on Reddit, but I'll talk about it maybe tomorrow or the day after. But I'm playing some action music in the background. You guys know what it is. If you're an old school PS2 fan of like stuff like Ratchet and Clank or Sly Cooper, which it's none of those franchises, it's something else. One thing I'm gonna say is the Orange Lightning, the Ocelot. That's the only freaking point. I'll link the link down below to the music in the battle in the description box below. It's O.J Simpson, ex-NFL football star, American football star for any of my people in the UK and Europe. I know your definition of soccer, aka football, is a lot different. This star was acquitted of murder. Unfortunately, he passed away at age 76. American football star was, taken out in 1995. No, who was acquitted of taking somebody out alive in 1995, died of cancer, according to a statement by his family. This comes from TheGuardian.com, so you know those fools are very reliable. I'm only gonna read bits and pieces of it because this is more my my old man, my old woman's time, my pops and my mom's side, my old school parents. Like they remember O.J. Simpson a billion times more better than people like maybe in their mid late 40s or 50s and 60s, probably 70s, 90s if they're still alive. The old school baby boom generation. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe don't. The only thing I remember about him the second time he got arrested, because I think it was like 2, 3 months before or after I started like community college. Because I was in 07 or 08, a little while ago. A while back. And I guarantee you Gen Z and highly definitely doubt the Alphas definitely not remember this dude at all. They'll just remember in a history book shit. Or history news news article sites like these. Out bullshitting and rambling. Stalling. It's really finally getting at this thing. I know he died 2.5 days ago, but whatever. Former American football star, actor, and notorious suspect of double murder has died of cancer at age 76. His family said in a statement on Thursday his 1995 trial and a controversial acquittal for the deaths of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and his friend Ronald Goldman. Tried at one of the. Oh, I never knew the other one died too. Ronald Goldman. Who the heck is that? Once again, this is kind of like not completely before my time because I did exist in 1989, 1994, but obviously I was a baby in diapers and a toddler when that shit was going on. So I was extremely fucking little at that time. It wouldn't have been till like the early mid 2000s. I'm gonna get into thoughts, views, and opinions all of it if you want to hear that at the end. I think when I used to watch a lot of reality TV documentary shows like from MTV, VH1, Even like when the Justice TV used to be called Court TV back then, and ended up being True TV later. Stuff like TLC and A&E. And they did old documentaries on O.J. Simpson, even like HBO documentaries. That's when I learned when I was like barely starting middle school and I was like 12 or 13 years old in the early 2000s. That's when I learned who he was. And I learned about him a billion times better because the whole white Bronco thing and all that. And a whole bunch of other stuff that followed this dude. It's insanity. Oh, and fun fact for you, just in case. He actually lived out in Vegas, but he lived on like more predominantly, no offense to any Asian people or Caucasians. I know there's like a few handful of blacks and Hispanic Latinos that live over there, but he was mainly in a suburb area out here in Vegas, or Las Vegas, called Summerlin. That's where he was mainly living at most of the time. So luckily, I never ran into him, thank God. I'm not even going to get into that debate if he did it or not. He took out and unfortunately ended his ex-wife and his friend's life, if he did it or not. That's between him and Jesus and God, man. Huh. And I shot a shit ton of tweets, so I'm not going to get into it, but I'll leave the link down below. It says O.J. Simpson's last final words was trending like a mother effort on Twitter X. It was insane. So it says, since his death was announced on X, formerly Twitter, simple message for his own family. On April 10th, her father, I never knew that was his name too. What? Orenthal, James Simpson's, had come to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asks you please respect their wishes. Yeah, of course that makes sense. Well wishes for their privacy. Statement on the Pro Football Hall of Fame Simpson. Simpson, who died in, oh wow. Oh, it wasn't even in Cali. It was here. Okay. I'm not surprised. Had been, who died in Las Vegas, has been receiving chemotherapy for prostate cancer, which said to be made by public 2 months ago. I didn't know anything of that. David Cook, an attorney for Goldman's family, said on Thursday in a brief statement, since it says, quote, died without penance, unquote. Alright. Okay, those are the ones that were against him. One of the most successful, popular sports of his generation, Simpson said, San Francisco 49ers and Buffalo Bills, as well as his post-retirement starring in Hollywood movies such as The Naked Gunman. What? He was in movies? I don't remember seeing like some retro 80s commercial, but that's it. I didn't know he was in a movie. It must have been flopped really bad if it was. At least when the other African-American dude, Carl Weathers, a couple of months ago when he died, like literally I think a week before or after my birthday, he was known for a lot more extra positive shit than negative stuff, which is cool. That one I give a frick ton massive better respect for him compared to more O.J. Simpson. Teach his own enough. Not trying to start a war on the internet. Heck no. Ultimately overshadowed by the 1994 murders after their aftermath. In a low-speed car chase across Los Angeles. That's the only thing I barely remember at that time. Once again, you gotta consider actually I was like 4 or 5 years old when a lot of this crap was going on. So the only thing I remember I think it was like in kindergarten class when the whole trial thing was going on. And that's it. That's crazy. It's the only thing I remember. I was playing with like Lego blocks and Connects, if any of you guys remember Connects. That's the only thing I remember doing when this shit was going on. So I was a very, very young little baby toddler kid at the time. In 1994-95. So it goes on to say which Simpsons attempting to flee in the pursuit of officers in Fort Bronco. The televised trial is captivated by millions of other viewers in the United States and globally on a daily basis. The events herald a blended celebrity and crime has become a staple of media ever since. The trial is spread over 11 months of broad prominence, colorful characters including Judge Lance Ito, if you're saying that right, and attorneys Jonathan Corchan, and oh yeah, that's right, Robert Kardashian, should say senior. That's the only thing I barely pretty much knew anything about O.J. Simpson was that. That's the only shit I knew about him the most. That I think Kim Kardashian's freaking dad, and it's Kim and Kylie Jenner's stepdad later on, was the one that was the lawyer attorney that defended O.J. Simpson. That's the only thing. Biggest brief amount of history I knew what to do. And when he got arrested the second time, that's it. Following the low-speed car chase at Simpson and Fort Bronco, they read that. The house guest Kento Kellyan provided perhaps the most famous gotcha moment in courthouse history when Simpson struggled to put on gloves. He wore the during established in a Korchan told the jury, says, quote, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Oh, he said that? Okay. I think I remember that watching the documentaries. Let's move on. Mistrust of LA apartments by African Americans. The city was rife, and detectives who testified against Simpson were accused of that word, I can't say. One Mark Furman was influenced and caught on tape, which to the jury used derogatory R-word languages and talking about planting the evidence. Detectives who later spoke later about how the jury felt was, quote, glaring at them, where they believed, quote, this case was never going to be won following King verdicts. Despite not guilty, 3 years after criminal sentence trials, civil suit brought the victims' families in order to pay $33.5 million. This is the one I remember here. Yep, totally remember this one. In 2009. Oh, yeah, and I remember. It was like 2 months before I started like community college there. In 2008, when he spent the prison in 15 years for botched robbery in Las Vegas, when he attempted to forcibly recover memorabilia he insisted had been stolen from him. Simpson led the 5 men barely knew anyone confronted more memorabilia and dealers in a hotel room. 2 men with Simpson had guns. The jury convicted his sister of armed robbery and felonies. Prison in 61, he served 9 years in remotely northern Nevada prison. The sting operation. Stint as a gym janitor, excuse me. He also was not contrite with the release of the hustle was something of parole. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. There's so much stuff on here. 2007, a court awarded the Golden family rights to Simpson's book with the pre-recordings to put 33.5 in jury awarded. And a whole bunch of other stuff. O.J Simpson's Made in America book. Oh, I didn't know it got Academy Award. Congrats for him or not. No, it's way late now because that was 2016. Ooh, this is another bad one. I didn't know this either. While still at USC, he appeared at the Medical Center in films such as The Klansman, The Cassandra Crossing, and Towering Inferno, as well as The Misery's Roots. Oh, well, I didn't know that. Misery's. How do you say that? All while still being a football player, pro football player, American football player. Retiring from his beloved sport, he started the Naked Gun comedies. He also appeared in commercials, notably. Oh, this is the one I remember in the documentaries. Company Hertz. And at the time of the murders, arguably the most demanding sports bar, he switched. I will admit, thoughts was between speculations on all that. That commercial was cringe as fuck, but that crap was so damn funny for its time, man. Even though it was before I was born, it was like 1986, 87, 88. But man, this is, like I said before, this is more of my like parents. They definitely, and my older uncles and aunts, they definitely remember who the hell this fool O.J Simpson was big time. I'm not gonna say if he was guilty, if he did it or he didn't do it, because that's gonna start a whole race-baiting rage war, like a mother effer, and then it gets into politics and law and jury and all that other freaking messed up jamble of a mess, shitty, fucked up system of society that we have in this country in America, and probably parts of Canada too. But other than that, my dumbass, granted I was like 4 or 5 year old little kid at the time. I used to think O.J Simpson, and you guys are probably gonna be mocking me for the rest of my life when that's on this channel, but I used to think he was related to Marge and Homer Simpson from the Simpsons cartoon. I literally thought that's what he was, but he was a real person. Real thoughts and feelings and emotions. I'm not gonna say he was guilty or not guilty. Like I said before, I'll say it again, the Twitter things. Oh, they destroyed his ass in a million pieces, man. A lot of people said he was burning in hell. Other people said that he possibly made it to heaven. I don't know. It's not my freaking decision to make at all. I'm not the Yahweh, Jesus, God, like superior being to say if he made it to heaven, or Satan, Lucifer, the devil, Baphomet, Satanist, Antichrist, or Luciferian, the Baphomet, to say he went to hell. I'm none of those superior beings, obviously, because I wouldn't be here at all. But anyways, sure. There was so much pop culture references in it. I remember South Park and Family Guy and all that shit. They used to freaking shit on this dude's reputation a bunch. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, he had 3 kids on it. Hopefully his kids don't get harassed like a mother effer on the internet. Hopefully they're all social media, because if they are, I feel extremely bad for them. It's got to be horrific being our kids right now. And Nicole Brown says, yeah, she looked cute. She wasn't super beautiful or hot, but so I gotta say, R.I.P. to a legend. And yeah, that's it. Hot takes are crazy. I'm out. Bye.